Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK-specific independent home gym tips and advice. And today we're going to review the Yoleo Adjustable Bench. So why would you get an adjustable bench in the first place? Well, I think a lot of people start out in their home gym journey with a set of adjustable dumbbells or something like that, maybe a dumbbell set. You probably at some stage when you're doing the exercise there would like to lie down so that you can maybe press the dumbbells from your chest. There may be other exercises where you'd like to be lying down. A flat bench is a good option, but I think for a home gym, you're probably going to want an adjustable bench because it has more modality and you can use it for a whole range of different things. So I think an adjustable bench is definitely something that most home gym owners will sort of eventually gravitate towards. So let's talk specifically about the Yoleo adjustable bench. It costs, well, I believe it costs between £50 to £75. These prices sort of seem to fluctuate quite a lot. And it seems to be mainly available in the UK via e-commerce marketplaces like eBay and particularly Amazon. I think I got mine from Amazon. Now, I believe currently it is for sale about £73 on Amazon. I believe I got mine a lot cheaper than that. So I do think that you can sort of hang on for a sale or something like that. I think eBay does it as well, around £70. Often they have discount codes there, so on the banner of their website there. So it's worth having a look around, or maybe just wait, a few weeks. That often it will come up in today's deals, slightly discounted. So I think you can probably pick it up £50, £60. Because this is quite a big seller on these e-commerce platforms, there are quite a few around secondhand. Personally, I wouldn't buy secondhand, but you can get very decent prices for this because I think a lot of people bought one and then possibly want to upgrade to something different, or it doesn't suit their needs. So I've seen them go for £5, £10 on Facebook Marketplace or other, maybe eBay, something like that. Again, I don't think I would buy this particular item secondhand because you don't know what kind of state you're going to get it in unless you get the chance to go up and really have a good look at it before you buy. If you do buy it new, it will come flat pack, and you'll have to assemble it yourself. The assembly is not too tricky. It'll take, I don't know, it took me around 30 minutes, something like that. There's a lot of bolts and nuts and stuff like that need to be put into place because they want to send it to you as flat as possible, so it takes up as little volume as possible in the containers. It's not too difficult. I would recommend maybe a better adjustable spanner. I think one of those, adjustable spanner is a really, really useful thing to have in a home gym generally, because most things involve, metal bolts that need to be tightened and stuff like that. I have to say that I haven't really need to retighten any of the bolts that I put in there, and I've had this bench for several years. And I've never had to sort of do much maintenance with it. So let's get on to talk about what this bench actually does. So what does this bench do? What are its features? So obviously it's an adjustable bench, but it has, it advertises itself, or the company that makes it advertises it as having 6 different back settings. Now, I think they are including the full sort of decline setting as one of those. So it will, in its collapse state, its decline sort of setting doesn't clip into anything, but it's sort of resting on itself, so it's not going to go anywhere. Then it will come up to flat, And then you have, I believe, 4 different height settings up to completely, completely straight like that, um, a completely horizontal one. I don't really use that completely horizontal one, and to be honest with you, the only settings I really use out of all those 6 are the decline, which I will sometimes use for tricep work, particularly if you want to do a tricep extension with the decline. I find that's quite nice. You can try and use it like that for ab work. I find it a little bit unstable for ab work. But yeah, the decline setting, the flat setting is the one that I probably use the most. And then for the incline, I use the second to top one. I never really used the straight vertical one, but the second one after that, I find very good for overhead pressing, seated overhead pressing, and other things like incline curls and so on. Okay, so let's get on to talk about what I like about this bench. What I really like about this bench is it's so light. It's supposedly 11 kilograms. It feels lighter. You can just carry it around, put it wherever you like, and it's not going to take up too much space. Because of the footrest, that does sort of stick out, so you can't really get it completely flat, and you'll need to pull a pin out of it to sort of compress the seat down. The seat also has 4 height settings. I don't really use those very much. You could maybe, if you're trying to do like a chest fly or something like that, and you wanted to bring the seat up a little bit, yeah, you might want to do that. I very rarely use anything other than the sort of standard 90-degree sort of angle there. Anyway, yeah, it's very light. It's so portable. You could realistically sort of, it would involve sort of unscrewing a few bits, but you could realistically store it flat in a cupboard if you wanted to. So it doesn't really require you to actually own a full home gym to store it in. What I really like doing with this is taking it outside into the garden. So if it's a nice day, if there's no rain or whatever, I really like working out outdoors if at all possible. So yeah, you can take it out into the garden. Now I own another adjustable bench, a strength shop one, and that's way too heavy and cumbersome and annoying to sort of try and move out into the garden. So I wouldn't even dream of doing it without that one. Just lives in the home gym all the time, in the garage. That is a real big advantage over a more sort of, I wouldn't say that the strength job one I have is a commercial one, but it's sort of getting towards that sort of commercial feel for an adjustable bench, and this one does not feel like at all like a commercial gym adjustable bench. If you've ever used one of those, it's quite the opposite. It's very, very lightweight, and that is to its advantage and to its disadvantage as well. Anyway, I'll get on to those the things that I don't like about it a bit later. But I do like all of the different settings. I really like the fact that it is, even though it's only 11 kilograms, even though it's very, very light sort of weight and light feel, it never feels like it's going to give up on you. It never feels like it's going to fail on you, except in a couple of sort of circumstances I will talk about a little bit later. But I do use this for the seated overhead press, and I do tend to go quite heavy on it there. And the reason I use this one instead of the strength shop one that I have is that the strength shop one is so big and cumbersome, it doesn't really fit quite to the position where I want it to go in the squat rack. Let's move on to what I don't like about it. What I don't like about this is a lot of people will buy a bench because they want to do bench press. And this is like the big problem for me. with this bench. It feels really, really wobbly underneath you when you're doing the bench press. And I think, a lot of people, particularly if you've got squat rack or a half squat rack, and you've got all of the barbells and everything like that. You want to do bench press, and this thing, as soon as you start getting slightly heavy on the weights, and I mean even just slightly heavy, it starts sort of moving around, shifting around underneath you. I don't think that it's moving as much as I think it is. I don't think it's as unstable as I think it is, but it doesn't feel very reassuring. And you want to feel like you're very secure in that moment. If you're bench pressing, if you've got that big heavy weight coming down towards you, you don't want to feel like things are moving behind you and you're not quite in control of them. So that is something where I really think it doesn't, it doesn't really pack much of a punch. The other thing is if you're trying to sit on it and doing any kind of heavy pulling movements, it just feels like it's going to move out from under you. And, because it's so light, it's just your weight on top of it there. It really doesn't feel like, a good experience. So the other thing I'm not too sure about is on the base. On the rear base of it, it has little holes for resistance bands. I think those are a bit superfluous. I don't really think there's any particular reason to have those on there. On the version that I got, it had like a carrying handle, like a fabric carrying handle that was attached with two little metal hooks, and that wore out almost immediately. It was like a sort of carrying handle, and it was advertised as being like a carrying handle. I've noticed that doesn't seem to appear on the listing anymore, so I wonder if they just removed it because people were sort of complaining that their carrying handles were breaking and maybe trying to send them back or whatever. So maybe the manufacturer just got rid of that, But yeah, if you're hoping to carry it around with a handle, no. Just it doesn't really need a handle though, to be honest with you. You can just stash it, pick it up very easily, and you won't have any problems there getting your fingers trapped in it or anything like that. One more thing I'm not too sure about is the sort of finishing material that they have on the top of the cushioning. The cushioning itself also is, it's not super thick, but you wouldn't expect it to be super thick for such a lightweight bench. But the material they use on the top layer is sort of like a PU that is sort of layered like that, sort of like a latticed thing. That's okay. I mean, I don't really mind it that much, but it's not. If you're used to using a very smooth surfaced bench in a commercial gym, you might find it slightly, I don't know, slightly rough or something like that. But it's not so bad. It can damage a little bit over time, but it's only little areas of it that seem to get damaged. So the bottom line, should you buy it? Well, I'm going to say that if you are like a rank beginner and you're just starting out and you're not really sure if you want to sort of build a home gym in the first place, if you're sort of thinking about sort of having some basic equipment at home, but you don't want to call it a home gym yet, then I think that it's a really good investment because you're not spending too much money on it. It is stable. It's quite durable. It's surprisingly durable, even though it sometimes feels like it's not going to be very durable over the long term, particularly if you're doing bench press on it and it starts feeling a bit wobbly. Really, it does hold up. It's made of a fairly decent quality steel. And like I say, yeah, if you live in a flat, an apartment, and you want to stash it in a cupboard, it's totally doable. Totally doable. It's not going to take up too much space if it's in the corner of a garage either. Where I think this is so amazing is if you have a garden, because it's so portable. You can take it outside, just put it out in the garden, and do some you're not going to be able to do very serious strength work on it there, but you will be able to do, good, enjoyable sort of dumbbell work outside. The weather's nice in the sunshine. That's really good, and I don't think you can do that with a lot of the more serious, heavy-duty adjustable benches that are out there for home gym owners. Like I said, the drawbacks really are that, if you're a big fan of the bench press, you're not going to really enjoy pressing with this. So, you have to weigh that up. It might be better to invest in something a bit more heavy duty. And I think that, basically, if you're a beginner, this is wonderful. If you have a garden, it's wonderful. If you already own something a bit more heavy duty and you want like a second bench that you can use for something like the garden, it's very good. If it's your primary bench and you are quite into strength work and you're relatively, I don't know if you're intermediate or advanced, you're probably not going to look at a bench like this. But I think generally it's decent value for money, bearing in mind all the things that I have just mentioned. So that's about it. I wonder if you've ever had any experience using the Yoleo Adjustable Bench. What do you think? Are you considering getting one? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions as well. Please do check out our website. I've got a review on this on the website on the Yoleo Adjustable Bench, so maybe a few more details there. Please also like, share and subscribe to the channel, and let me know if there's any equipment you would like to see me review. And I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.